Hey everybody, what's up? So, Asian Sleepy, number 10 community question was, what's your favorite game of all time? It's like, that's so hard to pick. Um, because like I've talked about my love of Altered Beast, even though I've never finished it. I know it's just weird. I played it on the Genesis and the arcade. Great game, but like for the Genesis, the other game that I really like and was able to complete quite a few times is Dune Battle for Arrakis. I mean, it's a strategy game, not normally something I would usually play, but the strategy is really great. You get to play as one of the three houses, and like the different troops you can create, and how do you figure out how you're gonna mine, how you're gonna battle against your enemy. Like one of them has like a rogue you can send in. You can do basically screw things up for the other team. House, it's kind of fun. It's one of those worthwhile games I think to play for like the PSP, and I know it's on consoles, but I only played it this way. And if I ever had a chance, like if it's ever backwards compatible, I might check at some point with the Xbox One. Dante's Inferno really was a top-notch game in my opinion. Not only for the action, the storytelling as well. And by the way, there is, I think it's still on YouTube, there is a great Dante's Inferno animation series. It's like different artists as give their perspective as Dante goes through hell. It's really worth watching. I know there's a woman with big titties, and sorry, I shouldn't say that, but it's true. She's got big boobs, and you're battling her, and you just go, oh wow, that's in front of you. Distracting. Um, the ability to more or less go, okay, are you going to, you know, do you find this person is or guilty, and you make that choice, and you can either send them to hell or have them punished in heaven. Sorry, punished in hell or sent to heaven. I'm not going to refilm this video for one mistake. Sorry. The graphically was great. The cutscenes were wonderful. My favorite battle was with Dante's dad. That was my favorite of all time. I don't know why, but I think I know why. It has to do with the way his dad was. You have to play the game to find out. And the story, while it deviates, because I understand it's an action game, while it deviates some from the play, there are a lot of great elements from the play, poem, whatever you want to call it, in there. Kind of like an epic poem. Um, some people I've heard call it play, but whatever. So yeah, I mean, it is really good for the Game Boy Advance. That one's kind of tricky because there's two games in particular that I really like, but I'm kind of cheat here because I really love the Golden Sun series, and I made a two-part video about the series. Um, just phenomenal. For its time, the use of the Jin, the storyline behind it as a two-parter continuation was just so wonderful. You really got a grasp of these characters. It's a great JRPG. It really, truly is. I would probably have to say there is a close second. Final Fantasy Tactics is really good. The job building of that was different as gone into other games. But one thing about Final Fantasy Tactics, if you have that on a DS Lite or DSi, and you have the DS version of Final Fantasy Tactics, when you get to a certain point, you can get extras from the GBA game. So I'm not gonna lie, that's a pretty cool feature of it. There's a couple of games like that that also use that particular option. So definitely, those are two great games, and a bit of sidetrack that aren't favorites, but they're worth it. PC definitely has to be Sam Max Hit the Road. Now I admit it, I like what Telltale did with the games, with the way they took the series. I waited till there's like a full release because I don't want to buy individual seasons. It was cheaper. There's something about Hits the Road. There's the humor in there. It's funny. It's like you have to steal like a severed hand at one point. I know I shouldn't say that, but it's part of a puzzle. And essentially, you have to track down a Bigfoot. It's hilarious. Yeah, it's definitely worth it. The humor that started all is there. There was also, I think I know I have it over there, but I'm not going to go digging where my graphic novels are. There was actually a Sam and Max comic series that followed the actual like game style. You know, the humor and everything else like the game had is in there as well. So it is definitely one of those top ones. Kind of like a close second, you know, like Leisure Suit Larry series would be in there. I admit that, but Sam and Max is by far Lucas Arts, and at least in my opinion, best games. It was sad to see that they actually had a second game they didn't follow up with because they decided to go Star Wars. So I admit that you want to go with a route that's going to make you more money. It was just sad that that didn't happen. For the DS, I also do want to throw in an honorable mention of the game Aliens. That's a fun game. I play it when I can because it is hard. Thank you, Carl, for that one. I appreciate it. Um, what else? What else? DS. So many great titles. That's part of the problem. Even though I like Golden Sun, I'm kind of on the one they have because it was so left open ended that they could have made another one for the 3DS/2DS. They could have made one by now for the Switch. And I should say, stop saying. Thinking while talking. I shouldn't do that. Should have notes. That kind of took away from it. It was one of the great ones. Let me see if I just had it. Not Final Fantasy Tactics. And I can't say the Phoenix Wright series, even though I really like those. It's just one big series that goes into 3DS. Where is it? I know I had it. Here we go. Actually, it's a tie. But I really have to say, and I don't hear enough of this game, Custom Robo Arena. In this one, you go like battling these robots. You can customize them as you go along. You can either win. I kept screwing up, and eventually I did get it, but I screwed up and did something else wrong, so I didn't get something else. You can like win parts, money to buy parts for these robots. A couple times you can actually get a free robot. So I really enjoyed that. There's kind of one scene I had to play a few times to get one of the harder to get robots. The other one really has to be, and I know this has been on other platforms, it has to be tied because SNK versus Capcom Card Fighters. You basically go through this building level by level, and you play against other people. You collect cards, you buy packs. It's really great. Somebody said it was on the Neo Geo Color. That would be an interesting one to get, but I've seen some of the prices. No, I love handhelds, but not those prices. I really don't have a favorite for like the Game Boy Color or the Game Boy because I haven't really played those enough. Bakugan? Is that it? See, Lunar Nights, this is another one I played. It's like called The Power of the Sun. There's two of them where you can actually, there's a solar sensor that you can use. You can cheat if you want, I've heard. I don't know, I've heard it kind of causes problems where you can actually use the sun's rays to gather power. And if you have the DSi or light, was there a light? I think there was, yeah. Not the XL. You can't do it the XL. You can put the cartridge for one of the first two games in there, and you can play the DSi game, and you can actually use that to collect power, which is pretty good. I will admit to that because in Lunar, you play as both of the characters from the first two games. So you have one character that uses like darkness, the other one uses light. So it's a really interesting concept, and that's one of those other things I like about both of them. Not saying it's favorites, but just saying. 2DS, which I play. 2DS has been hard once again because the Phoenix Wright series goes into that one. So once again, that's kind of really a hard choice on that one. Lego Batman series, I love that one. Honestly, I can't think of a favorite for that one. I know I like the Lego movie game. I like a lot of the Lego games also. Some of them are really good, some of them are bad. I just don't know. I mean, honestly, I can't think of a favorite I have at the moment. Um, is it over there? Hold on. Alright. Grabbing something here. I think one of the ones that I have played that I like is actually a downloaded game. Waiting for this to power up here. Grab the other container. I have a couple of cases like to have, like either DS games or DSi games together. By the way, because of Vampire Mike, I actually got Shakedown Hawaii for the system. One really great series if you're interested in downloads. Parascientific Express. There's a couple games. They're really good. I can't find it. Etran's Odyssey, I will admit, probably, I'm still working on it, is probably one of the best games that I've seen in the series. But honestly, the one that I've got for the 3DS that I really loved, I'm not going to lie, let me get back in camera range here, is SteamWorld Dig. I really liked SteamWorld Heist, SteamWorld Dig 2, but there's just something about the first one that I really enjoyed, and I would have to give it one of my top favorites. Vita, a lot of games I'm still playing through on the Vita. Lacrimosa of Donna. My friend Catherine would be mad at me if I didn't mention that one. It's good. I will admit I'm almost done with that one. It is great. The Wolf Among Us from Telltale. I know you said favorites, but that's not a good one. It really isn't. I've heard a lot about things, and I played it, and it doesn't make sense. So there we go. But actually, for the 3DS, one, I can actually use this one. The top favorite would actually be Professor Layton and Phoenix Wright. The puzzle aspect of Professor Layton combined with the investigation of Phoenix Wright, you add those two together, it's phenomenal. So I would definitely, yeah, I'm going to definitely go with this one, just because of how fun it is. And Professor Layton, I've only started playing one of those games. They're really expensive, so I can never get into it. Phenomenal games. Switch, I can't talk about that because I've only started playing it. I started playing Super Mario Sunshine and Cat Quest, which is like you play as cat. It's an RPG. It is a fun game. Both of them are fun. I know, like Super Mario Sunshine was part of another system. But honestly, I can't do that. Back to Vita. Yeah, I would probably have to say Lacrimosa of Donna is a good one. There was another one, I can't think of it off the top of my head, that I've been enjoying. I've got a lot of games. I mean, seriously. Xbox One, I'm almost finished with it. Bulletstorm. Bulletstorm is just this fun, phenomenal game. I actually got it because, once again, my friend Catherine, she told me about it. She showed me some gameplay. Thank you for that one. I appreciate it. And I want to run the Duke Nukem gameplay of Bulletstorm at one point. It's a fun game. It really is. There's a lot of cheesiness. Some of the aspects of it are just hilarious. Sorry, I saw my phone flash. It means message or something. Game Boy and Game Boy. Game Boy. The only Game Boy game that I've actually gotten so far into is either Nemesis. Nemesis I played quite a bit of. It's a good shooter. What's the other one? Gargoyle's Quest. I don't have as many Game Boy games, the original ones. They're kind of sort of back and forth on one. For SNES, if I were to get the Nintendo Club, whatever, $20 for a year thing, one of the games I've been wanting to play again, because you need a new 2DS to play it, would be, this is actually one I was enjoying for Max got rid of the SNES, which was hers, and she decided to give it away for different reasons. But it really was Demon's Crest. Really love that game. Never had a chance to finish it. I really want to. Just not right now, Yeah, those. Sorry for it being 15 minutes, almost 17 by now. Thank you for the video. Sorry for the rambling about, my mind, how it went for different games. But I really think that there's so many great games out there that are just worth playing, depending on your style. It's definitely one of those things where you kind of have to really look into what you want. Time Hollow, if you want a really different game, I'm just going to say this. This is one of the really great DS games. It's not one I think very many people have heard of. In fact, I'm still looking for a good price on the stylus. It's a really interesting game that involves kind of like time dimensional travel in a weird way, but is excellent. I wouldn't call it my favorite, but it is a really good one. That's because I know you'll ask for people's suggestions, so I'm not gonna lie there. That is a really good one if you look into it. I can't think of anything else. Strange Journey for the DS is also a really good one. I'm kind of still working on it because one of the bosses I'm stuck at. I'm not going to get the redo, probably. But yeah, I mean, that's it. Thank you for listening to me go on and on about different games and losing track and going back and forth. Talk to y'all later. Take care. Bye.